Okay, next we have Mr. Ben Welk, delivering 10 ways to shock-proof your social media. Thank you, Ben. Mic up. Mic drop. Mic up, I trust.
Mic for a phone.
Ben,
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I think we are under the 2 minutes between speakers. That's good. I'm pleased about time. So Ben, we will start at 3, 2, 1, go.
Now that you've already had time to read the slide, I'm Ben Welk. I'm actually a policy and awareness analyst at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Part of my role is doing security awareness training for all of the incoming students. What we're going to do in this presentation, first, can you follow us with this? Okay, here's the problem. Every one of us is a target. Identity theft is big business. Hackers are not people in their basements. And the other big issue is you really can't rely on others to protect you. Now this is a little bit dated, but it's basically one of these things to try to scare you. This is unique malware growth going through the middle of 2009, and you can see the curve. 2.4 million different pieces of malware in what we're estimating for 2009. Now the bigger issue we're seeing is that there's a lot of phishing going on social networking sites, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But again, you see the same type of curve. So if you're on social media, organized crime is going to go after you there as well. Now, tip number 1, passwords and passphrases. The length is important, so more than the complexity. It was a dark and stormy night, you make it a little bit more complex, put a number in the middle of it, and it's pretty much an untrackable password. There's also something called password safes. I recommend something called LastPass. One of the problems we have is we all have multiple accounts online, multiple passwords, hard to remember. A password safe will store the passwords, and you need one password to get into it. Tip number 2, keep up to date. Everybody knows you've got to do your Windows patches. Well, you also got to do your Macintosh patches, and even more importantly, you've got to make sure that your applications are patched. And Adobe has really become the new Microsoft. Another thing with information security is the idea of layers of security. So you're going to want to have antivirus, you're going to want to have a firewall, you're going to want to have anti-spyware protection. This is the layered look, I guess, in the Middle Ages here. Tip number 4, recognizing phishing and scams. Don't take the bait. You're going to see phishing attempts. They used to be real easy to recognize because the grammar was terrible. Now you can buy kits to do it online. So they're much harder to recognize. But our main tip on that is don't get hooked. Never respond to any request for your password, from an email, instant message, anything like that. If you do that, you're going to keep yourself in pretty good shape. Tip number 5, use social networks safely. I do not like localization things like, not localization, but location things like Foursquare, because I worry more about cyber stalking. And of course, here's one of those articles to scare you to death with it. Another thing to keep in track of is who else uses social networking. You've got cyber criminals using it, you've got potential employers using it, and I don't have the right order, but that's okay. And you've got a third group which will pop up soon. The key thing here is Google Facebook Stalker. It's about a 3-minute video. It is great, it's funny, and it should scare you just a little bit. Okay. What you use can be used to make judgments about your character. You don't want to be the guy in this picture. When your potential employer is out there Googling you and looking for pictures of you to see what might come up. Be wary of others. Great looking little frog. This was a little research thing done by a company called Sophos. They created this frog's profile on Facebook. 41% of the people they asked agreed to be friends and provided them with all sorts of information. The acronym was Freddy Star, which is an acronym for fraudster, which none of us got. Is this really your friend? Is it a wolf in sheep's clothing? Just because you're getting messages from somebody doesn't mean it's really coming from that person. And I think all of you have probably seen this on Facebook or heard about it. Tip number 8, search for your name. Do a vanity search, hence the mirror. Set up a Google alert, search for your name. I do it for me, I do it for my spouse, just to kind of see what's showing up online on a daily basis. And tip number 9, guard your personal information. Facebook applications tend to grab a lot of information. They share it freely. Who's guarding your private information? Do you have Discard Dog? I do not. He is odd. Tip number 10, use your privacy settings. Default settings are set to open. You want to adjust them to help protect your identity. You want to show limited versions, a limited version of your profile. And you want to disable the features and open them one by one as you need them. Basically, you're the first line of defense. You're going to be the first one that knows if something's wrong. With your computer running slowly, anything like that, you'll be the one that notices it. And you need to take action. You need to do a scan, talk to somebody, see if something's been in the news. And the main thing, and we preach this at RIT, is to practice digital self-defense because you need to protect yourself and everyone else. You can reach me at @bwelk, and if you've been on Twitter at all, you've seen me on Twitter all over the conference, or at RIT_infosec. Thank you.